Hi, I'm Kevin. This is Sports Lab 100. Today's chapter is 2012, Week 17, Panthers at Saints. It's not a playoff game or a division title game. It's not one of those clean NFL history chapters where everyone understands the stakes before kickoff. This is better. This is two 7-9 teams arriving at the same record from different directions. The Panthers are finishing year 2 of the Cam Newton, Ron Rivera project. The Saints are finishing the weirdest year of the Drew Brees era. No Sean Payton, no normal chain of command, and a defense that's about to leave a scorch mark in the record book. New Orleans is an established power. They've already won the Super Bowl. Drew Brees is still Drew Brees. The offense can still do Drew Brees damage. The problem is everything around it has gone strange. Sean Payton suspended for the season. Joe Vitt is the interim coach by this point. Aaron Kromer had handled the first 6 games while Vitz earned his own suspension. So the Saints season already felt like football with the steering wheel removed and passed around the room. The machine still has horsepower, but it doesn't feel whole. Carolina's different. They're not broken from scandal. Carolina's just not finished being built. Cam Newton's in his second season. He's already a physical problem the league has no clean answer for. But the Panthers are still learning what they are. Ron Rivera is still pre-Riverboat Ron. Luke Kuechly is a rookie. Steve Smith is still here. Greg Olsen is becoming essential. D'Angelo Williams and Jonathan Stewart are still part of the old Smash Mouth DNA, but they now exist inside Cam's gravity field. That's the shared DNA here. Both teams are built around special quarterbacks, but they express it differently. The Saints are precision. Brees throws you into exhaustion. The Panthers are pressure. Cam makes it feel unfair. On this day, the Panthers don't win because Cam takes over the game. They win because D'Angelo Williams turned the Superdome into an open prairie. Carolina gets the ball first and starts with a long drive. 15 plays, 76 yards. Gets all the way down near the goal line, but the Saints hold. Graham Gano makes the short field goal and the Panthers lead 3-0. That first drive matters because it said what kind of day this is going to be. Carolina's not treating this like a dead season. They're not trying to get to the airport. They're making New Orleans defend every inch. In the second quarter, the Panthers strike harder. Cam hits Brandon LaFell for 16 yards. Then D'Angelo Williams bursts through the middle for 65. Roman Harper chases him down at the 1. That's a nice hustle play, but it's also the football equivalent of arriving at the bank 1 minute after it closes. Mike Tolbert takes the next snap into the end zone. Panthers 10, Saints 0. Then Drew Brees reminds everybody that even in a strange Saints season, his furnace is still lit. He starts moving the ball. Mark Ingram gets involved. Lance Moore hits for a big gain. Brees finds Marcus Colston on 4th down for a 7-yard touchdown. Now it's 10-7. Then comes the swing. Cam throws one. Jonathan Vilma takes it. 18 yards the other way. Touchdown Saints. New Orleans leads 14-10. For a moment, the game feels like it has corrected itself. The better quarterback, the home crowd, the veteran team. Fine. The Saints have absorbed the early punch. Carolina answers with a Gano field goal, but Brees has time before the half. And that's never a comfortable phrase. He moves New Orleans quickly enough for Garrett Hartley to hit from 53. So at halftime, it's Saints 17, Panthers 13. Then the third quarter opens like New Orleans is about to take it. Brees hits Lance Moore for 51 yards. Then he finds Jimmy Graham for a 19-yard touchdown. That play pushes Brees over 5,000 passing yards for the season. Again. His third time doing it. At that point, there had only been 6 5,000-yard passing seasons in NFL history, and Brees owned half of them. Saints 24, Panthers 13. This is where the Panthers could fold, but they don't. They hand it to D'Angelo Williams, and he rips off 54 yards for a touchdown. That's the game's real thesis statement. The Saints can still throw. They can still score. They can still produce something that looks like the old magic, but they can't stop Carolina from running directly through the front door. Charles Godfrey intercepts Brees later in the third. Carolina converts that into another Tolbert 1-yard touchdown. Panthers back in front, 27-24. Now the Saints are the team trying to catch their breath. Early fourth quarter, Carolina goes 80 yards, 9 plays. Tolbert finishes, again from the 1. His third touchdown of the day. Panthers 34, Saints 24. Then New Orleans goes 3 and out, and D'Angelo hits again. 12-yard touchdown, Panthers 41, Saints 24. That should be the ending. It's not the ending, because Drew Brees finds a way to make things happen. Brees leads an 80-yard drive and finds Colston for another touchdown, 41-31. Carolina adds another Gano field goal to make it 44-31. Then Brees hits Darren Sproles for 33 yards, and now it's 44-38 with just under 3 minutes left. This stupid game still has a pulse. The Saints try the onside kick. They don't get it. Carolina survives. Final score, Panthers 44, Saints 38. D'Angelo Williams finishes with 21 carries for 210 yards, 2 scores. That is a Panthers franchise record at the time. Mike Tolbert adds 3 rushing touchdowns from the 1-yard line. That's a very fullback way to steal jewelry from your teammate's mansion. Cam Newton throws for 248 yards, runs for 34 more. Carolina finishes with 530 yards, 5 rushing touchdowns. On the other side, Brees throws for 396 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. Jimmy Graham catches 9 for 115 in the score. Lance Moore goes over 1,000 yards for the first time in his career. Colston catches 2 touchdowns and ties Eric Martin for the franchise receptions record. Somehow the Saints lose. That's the whole 2012 Saints season in miniature. The offense is still high end. The quarterback is still brilliant. The receiving weapons still work. But the defense is a trapdoor. In this game, New Orleans allows 530 yards, pushing its season total to 7,042 yards allowed. At the time, that was the most ever by an NFL defense. Breaking records the wrong way. So this game is not really Panthers over Saints. It's Panthers through Saints. For New Orleans, the season ends at 7-9. Peyton comes back the next year. The Saints return to the playoffs in 2013. This weird 1-year detour doesn't destroy the era, but it does prove how fragile the whole operation is without its central organizer. For Carolina, the record's also 7-9, but the feeling's different. The Panthers finish with 4 straight wins. That matters. They're not here yet, but the pieces are becoming visible. Cam, Luke, Rivera, Olsen, the defensive front, the shape of something harder. The next year, that shape becomes real. Carolina goes 12-4, wins the NFC South, and Rivera wins Coach of the Year. So this chapter is a season finale between 2 teams going nowhere, except one of them kind of is. The Saints are closing a broken year, but the Panthers are opening a door. Thanks for spending a little time with me today, and I'll see you next time.